Yo, shout out to the Most High. It's always a high see movement on Lord State. It's L-Deez, also known Lawrence One, for another episode of I Need to Know with my special guest. Introduce yourself, G.
What's going on? It's your boy Petey Mac.
Petey Mac.
Yes, sir. West Oakland. Stand up.
Okay, so you had to throw the turf in there. You had to.
Well, I ain't even throw the turf in. I just threw the side in, you know.
Check it out, Petey Mac. I always ask this. Let's get to it. Petey Mac, how did you get your rap name?
Well, my name, actually, it's a family name. Like, my name, Pierre, and I'm a junior. So by the time I was a baby, everybody was calling me Petey. And my pops, actually, was the one that threw the Mac on it. And that was probably like around 5, 6. I was young, and he called me that because he always said that I was real charming with the ladies, with the older ladies. I always had older ladies like blushing, so he called me Petey Mac, and it just stuck. And then I started rapping like around 11, and it was just natural because it's what everybody called me.
For sure, if you had been a little bit closer to North Oakland, they probably would have called you Petey Bo.
Yeah, my mama. Hey, you know, we got a bunch of Bows in the West, too.
I got a partner named Petey Bo. You know Petey Bo that's light-skinned that look like you from the West?
Come on,
the
man.
bottom.
You talking about Peter?
Yeah.
Peter Davis?
I think that.
That's my little partner.
Yeah, for sure. Pete, cool.
Yeah, that's my brother, man. Like, I mean, I took, man, when he came to the hood, because his granny, his great granny, actually, she was a barber in our hood, Miss Holmes, you know.
Okay.
For a long time. And his great granny was just like my great granny. They was like matriarchs in our neighborhood. You know,
yeah.
They both lived to be in their 90s.
Damn.
So yeah, my whole family from one hood. My whole family lived in the same house for like 80, 75 years.
And again, that's why I always say West Oakland is the country part of Oakland.
It's deep rooted
because everybody
came. When they left the South.
Yep.
In the Great Migration, they all came to West Oakland for the port jobs. So like all my great uncles, they all merchant seamen. They all retired now, but they was all merchant seamen, longshoremen. And my great auntie, she worked at the at Esther's, which was the bar that everybody.
The Orbit Room.
The Orbit
Come
Room.
on, man.
Exactly, the Orbit
Come on,
Room.
man. My god brother, he was bartending down there.
She was a bartender too. Back in the days, though, I'm talking about like in the 70s.
Yeah,
you know
I wasn't old enough to drink then.
I wasn't even Yeah, but no, I just know my history because through the grace of God, my great grandmother, she lived to be 97. So
damn.
I was 23 when she passed. So by the time she passed, she taught me everything. She wasn't senile or nothing. She had all her memory. She taught me everything about West Oakland, about how 7th Street was like they called it the Harlem of the West because there was a lot of jazz clubs and all that up and down 7th Street.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me all of that, all the way up to the Black Panthers and all of that. So yeah, I was always, it's a lot of pride with me as far as like
for
West
sure.
Oakland, you know what I mean?
Did you go to Mac too?
I didn't, unfortunately. I just said that in the song the other day I wrote, but I ended up moving to Richmond by the time I got to high school. So I went to high school in Richmond, and I let everybody know. Every day I was in their face like I'm from West Oakland. But Cade, actually, you mentioned Cade.
He went to DeAnza.
We went to school together, yeah. So we went to high school together. He a couple grades higher than me, but we was up there for like 2 years together.
Cade is my motherfucking dog.
Yeah, that's my bro. Cause like I said, I was way out there. It was me, him, and a female that I grew up with in Westwood Garden. We was the only ones. Not only from West Oakland.
From the bottoms.
All from the bottoms, yeah.
Yeah, I peeped that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you said you've been Petey Mac,
yeah.
You know, Pierre Mac, you know, since you've been little. So you never had no other rap name?
Never, man. Well, actually, I take that back. I did. The first rap name I had was Lil P, which was what other people call me because I'm a junior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it went from Lil P to Player P. And then I realized somebody had that name.
Player P, what that was during your teenage years?
I was 12, yeah. Yeah. I got raps I remember that I wrote when my name was Player P.
Like, you got a 16 you could kick a 12-year-old?
Right now.
Yeah. I want to hear a Player P. You want
to hear a Player P verse?
Give me a Player P verse.
All right, it's Player P verse. I say, It's Player P from the OAKLA&D. You play with me, I leave you injured for 6 to 8 weeks. I play the streets like a game, but without a controller, busting your head just to make sure you're dead. I won't hit lower, lower bottom be the place where I stakes my claim. Lil Petey, I done came here and changed the game. Please believe it, cause hundreds of dollars, I'm gon' see it. The rawest youngster to ever spit, I'm gon' be it. I'm so conceited, I can't help it, I'm just too beautiful. Man, I got stupid flows, let me hit the studio. Straight going platinum, these ignorant bitches, I slap them. And for these fake ass niggas a player like me, jack them. Just like Pooh, after you whoop, tell the next fool to rack them. And one by one, after my dollars come, I'm gon' stack them. Cause it's my destiny to get me some cheddar. If you blocking the even step to me, I'm swinging Berettas.
That's Lil Motherfucking B. Give it up for Lil B.
And you know what's crazy? It's like when you that young, you don't hold yourself accountable for nothing you saying. So I'm just like hella with the shit. I ain't did nothing to nobody at 12 years old.
But it's cool though.
I'm beating niggas up, but that's about it. I ain't shot nothing.
You know, hey, look, with the right exec behind you, the shit might go.
You feel me? Yeah, it's just dope to be able to remember all that shit too, though. It's like a mental library in my head. I remember all my shit.
Yeah.
From 11 12 all the way up.
So what's the first song that you actually recorded as Petey Mac?
The first song I recorded, I was 14. I was in the 9th grade. Shout out to my partner. To this day, I still fuck with him. My boy V Nitty. He was the only person I knew at the time that had a studio.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like the old school equipment. This was in 2001. And I went over there with a partner of mine, and we recorded our first song. And I'll never forget it. Like, I was so juiced. I listened to that shit like 100 times straight when I got home. Like, I just to hear myself clearly over a beat. And even back then, like, it probably sound like shit now if I was to hear it. But back then, it was amazing to me. I just couldn't stop listening to that shit. But when I was 16 is when I became when I got to like record at a continuous basis. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Really make a bunch of songs. And the moment I had enough songs, I made a mixtape and I printed them all up and sold them in high school for $5 a piece. Because everybody at school knew me for rapping. Like, it's crazy when I look back because like it's a few cats like y'all know that we all went to school together. And they'll tell you, like, I don't want to sound arrogant because they're my brothers. I love them all to death. And them niggas always show me love and give me my roses. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cool John and Love Rants, cats like that. We all went to high school together. And they'll tell you, like I'm the reason why they even start rapping. Like, Cool John tell you I was the first person he ever met that rap that wasn't on TV. You know what I mean? I'm talking back in 99, I met him on a flute. You know what I mean? Like, we both got kicked out of our schools and sent to this. My granny sent me to this wild ass. It was like a charter school. It was all boys, all black. The teachers were Muslims, called Malcolm X Academy.
Where that's at?
Well, at the time, it was in Albany. Look, this shit was crazy. Look, let me tell you, bro.
Hold on.
Let me tell you, this shit was crazy.
He said Albany.
No, but look where it was at, though. It was, first of all, it was only like 40 students all together, the whole school. Uh-huh. But it was inside the Albany library, but downstairs they had like some classrooms under the library, and that's where they had us. But the whole school, like 42 kids, it went from 4th grade to 12th grade, and I'm talking about we all in the same class together, like from 4th grade to 12th grade. This niggas in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, 11th grade. It was crazy, and I got there like January, probably right at like halfway through the school year. So I'm like the new nigga, I don't know nobody. And then Cool John come like a week later. So naturally, we both just clicked up because we was the two new dudes, you know what I mean? And then from there, that's when I told him I rap, you know what I mean? He got a whole interview with I Am Sue explaining all this shit. And it's funny because it's like, damn, he remembered more than I did. But he was like, this nigga had hella composition books full of raps, and he was like, I rap. And I told him, nigga, you ain't on TV. He was like, he was the first person I knew that rapped. You know what I mean? But to this day, that's my brother. We just did a song like a week ago.
Dope. Shout out to Cool John.
Shout out to Cool John, one of the realest niggas I know, man.
Definitely one of the coolest motherfuckers.
Definitely one of the coolest niggas, man, ever. And he been like that.
Yeah.
Since high school, for the record. Since middle school, he been the same way he is right now, that's how he always been. Just
You know, it's crazy when I see Cool John without his glasses. I'm like, damn. It's like,
hey, them his signature, man. That's his look, man. You know,
For
he
sure.
don't take them off that often.
yeah, that's the dog, man. Shout out to Cool John and the rest of my Smop Life homies.
Shout out to all them cats, man. All the HBK gang, man. I am Sue, all them guys. I know all them guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you something real quick. You know how you was talking about the classroom and shit like that?
Yeah.
Do you know in places like Africa, that's what they do? That's why the little kids be so advanced because they be in class with each other?
Right.
It's one classroom like for all of them.
All of them, right. And you know what? Like when I look back, it's an experience like I can only appreciate now.
Yeah.
Because I was literally in a classroom. At the time, I was in the 6th grade. But I was in a class with seniors and juniors and, you know what I mean?
Was they helping out? Was everybody helping each other?
We all had like separate curriculums. You know what I'm saying? And they did a good job at that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as just the experience socially, just being around cats way older than me, you know what I mean? We only had like 2 4th graders, but it was more dudes in there older than me than younger than me, you know, in the 6th grade, you know. I never seen no shit like that. And it was like, they was militant. Like, they damn near had permission to damn near put their hands on you. You know, like, if you had, it was like a real charter school, but ran by Muslims. Nigga, we watched American History X in that motherfucker.
Cold movie.
Cold movie.
For sure.
Shit crazy.
So coming up, who were some of your biggest influences?
Man, I listen to everybody across the board, and I don't want to sound hella cliche, but if you want me to be specific, far as out here, like,
Do you have a favorite rapper?
I used to have, you know, it changed over time. It changed over time. When I was coming up, I used to listen to a lot of mob shit. Like, I was that kid where everybody was listening to Nelly and the St. Lunatics. I was listening to AWOL and Sibo and shit like that. So when I was coming up, Sibo was my favorite rapper. I credit Sibo for teaching me how to project my voice when I rap. You know what I mean? Enemy of the State is my all-time favorite Sibo album.
The funny thing that you say that because that Enemy of the State album reminds me of 1997 and 8 when I used to hang out with my partners, JV and Truck from Lower Bottom.
Yeah,
Money by the ton. That's all we used to
Money by the ton. That was actually until my casket dropped, but
yeah.
But that was all
Was
around the same. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was all around the same time. You feel me? Like that was when Bo was really cooking. You know, that was after Pac died, and you know a lot of people knew him from doing songs with Pac, and you know he definitely took advantage of like that time. Like he ended up going to jail around that time for the lyrics in his song. You know, but it only all helped him. You know what I mean? Made his name bigger. He made it to MTV News off that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I studied these cats coming up. You know, listening. I listened to a lot of like mob figures. I listened to AP9 was my favorite mob figure, and at the time I didn't even know we was blood cousins. I'm talking about like second cousins. Like I grew up on my daddy's side in West Oakland. My mama's side, her whole side from Richmond. As time go by, I meet more and more people. But you know, I had met an OG who just told me AP9 was my cousin, and I'm like, man, what are you talking about? So I called my mom, come to figure out her daddy and his mama was brother and sister. They're both deceased now, but
Shout out to the #1 bitch killer, AP9.
Shout out to the bitch killer. We done met now many a times now at funerals for our family members.
Damn.
On my mama's side, I done seen him in passing and seen him in Vegas. But yeah, shout out to AP, man. Headshots was my favorite album at one point. You know what I mean?
He got a song called Rest in Plush that I really like.
I ain't heard that one.
Yeah. It's funny though because I just DM'd him, right?
Yeah.
I said, man, you had a song about the passing of people that you care about. He said it's either this one or this one. Once I heard the name, the title of it, I knew what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So what is your creative process like?
Well, honestly, man, it's based on like the beat. I listen to the beat and I let it take me from there. Me personally, I find it my duty to put some kind of substance in whatever it is. You know what I mean? Not to be like I ain't on like no super conscious type shit, but at the same time, I ain't just finna be rapping about a bunch of nothing. You know what I mean? Whatever the topic is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I listen to the beat first, and I just let that guide me from there. And I usually start with a verse, and then I build a hook around it. You know, it kind of comes natural to me. I've been doing it for so long. It's just a matter of if I'm out of my own head to do it. You know what I mean? Because there's been times where I done fell off with this shit and life got in the way, and you know, sometimes your mind could be your biggest enemy.
Definitely. What is the biggest time the longest time that you took off?
I hate to say it, but it was like 4 years. I dropped my debut album through Livewire. My first album, Jay had took me on the road with him and shit. I garnered some traction, put an album out, and then ended up, life got in the way. I ended up going through some hardships, and I fell back for like 4 years, man.
So you was on Livewire for a second?
Well, I always had my own label, but me and Jay, we did like a partnership, you know what I mean, type thing. I always credit Jay as being like a mentor to me. A lot of people always used to say, "Oh, why you don't fuck with Jay?" You know what I mean? Back in the days when I was doing my thing, and I never really wanted motherfuckers to be like, "Oh, you only got on because of style," and you know what I mean. I was one of them stubborn type niggas, so I tried to do it by myself, and of course, it was a rocky road. But I found solace in the way it all played out, because Jay, he came to me like, Jay always been one of my biggest fans. He always been like, telling me about keep going. He used to tell me, bro, you one of the rawest niggas around here. Just keep going. So one day he said, you can come on the road with me, bro. You know what I mean? Open up for me. And shit, that's all he had to tell me. Shit, I started going to every show he had. You know what I mean? Opening up for him and passing out my CDs. And I started gaining some traction. So I always credit Jay for like getting my name out there and just, keeping me like humbled and shit. Cause he always said like, you raw as fuck. You got natural talent. A lot of niggas can't fuck with you, but if you don't put the work in, it ain't gonna get you. You can't just rely on your skill. You gotta put that
right
work
though.
ethic. And he is. And I tell you, Jay, he is the hardest working artist I know.
I always say this, man. When I was working and stuff like that at Home Depot, when he was building his studio, the look that he had in his eye, how bad he wanted to do this shit was unmatched.
People don't understand, man. Sometimes Jay come off as like just silly because he be hella, playing around on in his videos or whatever, and he just a free spirit. But as far as his music shit, Jay is he's the coldest hustler I've seen, man. I'm talking about like before he even had a song that anybody knew. As far as outside of our region, our area, our neighborhood, he was walking through the hood with a duffel bag selling CDs.
And he got my $5 in that duffel bag. You know what I'm saying? I remember I seen him at Mingles. He had a CD. Man, I bought the motherfucker, right?
Outside of clubs, all of that. He was doing all that.
I bought it. Next week he came back with another one.
Straight up. And I look at him.
Shout out to Jay Salad and all my partners from Livewire.
Man, shout out to the whole Livewire, man. It's always mafia, man, no matter what.
Are you signed right now?
Well, I got my own label. I got a distribution deal through Empire.
Okay.
What I mean? But
now, what does that look like? Talk about the distribution deal through Empire. So, first off, what is the name of your label?
My label is 1420 Entertainment. Shout out to Ghazi, by the way. Yeah, it's distributed. And then I also got a distribution deal through Empire that I did get with Jay. We signed with them in 2013. So, yeah, damn, that's crazy. It's been a while now. Back then, Empire wasn't what it is now. Mm-hmm. I watched Ghazi really build that company up, man. From
brick by brick.
Brick by brick. And he said back then at a meeting that we had, now I could probably get a fucking meeting with Ghazi. But back then, he said, everybody everybody asked me why I'm still out here, why I haven't took my talents to like New York, where I could be a lot bigger. And because like I said, Empire wasn't what it is now. And he said, I just believe in so many of these guys that out on my side, and I just believe in my side that I don't want to leave. So he set up shop in San Francisco, but it never limited him to who he signed over the time. I mean, he got most of Detroit, everybody, and most of the cats in the Bay, and then you got cats who would love to be on Empire, you know what I mean? But
what does a distributor do, though?
I mean, a distributor basically just makes sure your music is in all streaming platforms. I mean, at this point, it's like you could get that with any distributor. You know what I mean? I think more so people get caught up in the name. You know what I mean? It's Empire. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a good look. You know what I mean? It's sad that people operate like that, but the moment I tell somebody that, they view it different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you distributed through Empire. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, I think it's just like, you know, as far as what they do, they do it better than anybody else. That's all it is. I mean, it's just levels to digital distribution. You know what I mean? And they ain't raping you. You know what I mean? And I think that's the beautiful part about it all. Like, it ain't like when you mention Empire, you don't think like, oh, you got a shady situation, because that ain't even what they in it for. I think he had a vision where he knew he wouldn't have to do that to win. You know what I mean? And now he winning because he got artists on a broad spectrum as far as like notoriety goes. You know what I mean? So.
And you said your label's called 1420?
1420, yeah. Remember when I was telling you my whole family come from out of one house. That's the address.
Oh, 1420. I didn't even make the connection.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, you know, it just sound like numbers, but that's what everybody in my family call our family. That's the name of our family, 1420. It's deep, like, because, I mean, you talking 75 years in one house. My great-great-grandma lived in that house. She died like 5 years before I was born. But my great-grandma, she was 73 when I was born, and she lived to be 97. So, you know, I really was raised by her. Like, and not to brag, I was one of her favorite out of her 35 great-grandchildren, you know, so she taught me a lot. You know? I got her most prized possession. It's a necklace at the house, man. I look at it every day. You know? She was special. You know, like on Soul Food, she was like Big Mama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was originally from Oklahoma. You know, they came out here. And then West Oakland was the rest. That was the history. That's it. Ain't nobody from nowhere else.
How many albums do you got?
Well, that's the thing. Right now, I got on digital distribution, I got 3 right now. And by the end of the year, I have about 4 more out. I'm doing 5. I got about 5 projects coming out this year. I've been doing a lot of work from last March to this March. I've been on it heavy. I've been all gas, and now I'm finally getting to watch it all play out. You know what I mean? It's the first time I done sat on this much music, and it's exciting because it's like people don't even understand. Like, I'm finna fuck him up, man. It's like I'm so excited. I just dropped the album January 4th, and I got another one coming March 24th, which is my birthday. Me and my partner, we got the same birthday. We dropping an EP, and then I'm dropping in April with Foots. Then I'm doing a whole album with this producer from Sweden. And then I got one more after that.
Okay.
Yeah, Mac Music 4, which is my little series. Because Petey Mac, I started Mac Music a long time ago. And my first album was called The West Kept Secret. And then my second album was Mac Music 3. So I'm going to keep that series going. So this one is Mac Music 4, The Golden Child. And I just unveiled my album cover, and it's already going. Everybody like, man, that's the coldest album cover you had so far.
Yeah. So if you in a room, right, and you gotta play one of your albums for a top exec, right?
Yeah.
Which album you gonna throw on of yours?
The one I just put out, January 4th. It's titled Dark Days, Sunny Nights, Long Live Tay. It's a very short but sweet album. It's 8 tracks. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's from front to back. It's just solid, and it's just growth. And it's like a testament to my resilience.
Where can people find it at?
All streaming platforms, whatever you listen to, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube. It's on all of that.
And what is your favorite thing to do? Record or shoot videos or just talk about rap?
As far as musically,
yeah.
I love like the creation part of it. Like, I love writing. That's my favorite part. And then second would be recording it, and then listening to it. I just love creating it. Like, as I'm going through the verse, the further I get through the verse, the shit I say, sometimes I surprise myself with some shit I say. I'm heavy on like lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of them cats. I used to listen to a lot of East Coast shit too. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So sometimes I say shit and it just fucked me up. That I could think of some shit like that. You know. So definitely the whole creation part of it, as far as writing it and then recording it and then listening to it.
What is your biggest high in the game? Like that you was like, man, I did that.
I say just being on the road with Jay, man. I remember the first time I did a show with Jay. It was in Rosa. Nobody knew who I was. But at the end of the show, like everybody was coming up to me like, man, you dope, man. That was a dope ass performance. And by the end of it, like I say maybe like a year and a half later, where shows became very normal to me, just going to every show and everybody knowing who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, we way out in the valley, you know, Merced, Modesto, you know what I mean, Visalia, Fresno, and you know, motherfuckers just coming up to me like, Petey Mac, what's going on, man? Hey, I fuck with your music. Hey, you different, man. You different. You don't sound like nobody on Livewire. Woo. I always prided myself on just sounding different, you know what I mean, than everybody. Not sounding everybody on Livewire sound the same, but I'm gonna keep it 100. You ain't gonna hear me talking about selling dope on my music because I never sold dope.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, that wasn't my thing. I sold other things. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of cats that sold dope never sold. You know what I mean?
I like how you trying to keep it in. Hey, Ash, you hear this motherfucker trying to keep it inconspicuous? Hey,
well, it ain't like that. You know, no, I'm just saying like, you know, you got cats that'll stand on that'll bleed the block.
Yeah,
but they'll ask you, man, how you get a female to pay you? You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't even fathom that.
We talked about that on my last show. You should have seen that man out there. We had a good time, though, with that one. Didn't we?
Like, for me, that's second nature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying, like, in my past. You know, I'm older now. You know what
but
I'm saying?
I like how we talking it, though, because this is the West Coast, though, right?
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? This is the West Coast, huh?
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? 7th Street.
Hey, believe that. And honestly, you know, I was brought up around some of the biggest to ever do it. You know, that's why I don't even the little shit I was doing, man, coming up was small time compared to the cats that I was brought up by. So
I gotta ask a question now. Is there a difference between a P and a Mac?
Definitely.
Would you break that down?
In layman terms, just to make it simple for everybody, in my opinion, I ain't saying this is law. This is my opinion.
Hey, did you hear what he said? I ain't saying this is law.
I'm just saying, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. A P is somebody that he got hoes. They doing whichever form of prostitution they doing, whether it's the blade, internet, whatever. They in Vegas, casinos, whatever, and they bringing it back. That's a pimp. A Mac is more like he might not necessarily got hoes, but whatever situations he got with women, he getting something out of it. He getting some money out of it. He might be a broad with a job, you know, but he squeezing her check, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, he not just, I think a P is more boxed in, you know what I mean? I think a Mac is just a more broader spectrum. Like, you could just get money from different ways, different avenues from women. You know what I'm saying? So
is a Mac a motherfucker that got a broad that work at a grocery store and every Friday he got her bringing frozen lasagnas out the motherfucking back?
I guess, but I would say that's a low-level Mac right there. You know, it's levels to everything. So, and if that's how he rocking, yeah, he needs to step it up for sure. You know, but yeah, man, you know, I ain't gonna sit here and just say I got 30 hoes. That's not my lifestyle. Obviously, I'm older than I look. Shit, I'm finna be 34 in a few weeks. You know
shit, man, you almost mid-age though.
Yeah,
that ain't
you
know, you almost mid-age. What's mid-age? Like 45 around this motherfucker?
Shit, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know. Shit, at this point, shit, I'm just blessed to be here because a lot of niggas ain't make it to this. This is like shit. I'm real OG right now at this point. Shit.
For sure. I mean, you know, people who always talk about that they didn't think that they wasn't gonna live that long. Did you ever have doubts that you was gonna be here today?
Man, many. I mean, not to sound hella cliche. I mean, it's facts is facts. I mean, about 80% of my partners is gone. They all been killed by this point. I done had both my best friends was murdered. One in 2008, and then the other one in 2019. But in between that, everybody else that I was outside with on the block, I'm talking about 80% of the cats that I was around every day, they gone. They been gone.
Did that affect your music any?
Definitely. You know, it took me a while to realize, but now it's like I'm starting to put it in songs and shit because I think a motherfucker need to really raise awareness to the shit. But it put me in a deep depression. You know, I think I was like in denial as far as how fucked up I was because we just so conditioned to just. It's like this shit desensitized. You know what I mean? Like where I come from, it's like we lose so many people. You look around, you just see everybody just still trucking. You know, like everybody else all right. I guess I'm all right. It's like I wasn't all right. You know what I mean? But all that shit I was keeping it, submerged, and I think it all just kind of came up and just fucked me up.
Yeah.
Just losing all them people and just not really grieving correctly. I think that was really what it was.
The cold part about grieving is that in the ghetto, people be dying back to back, so you really don't have time to.
It's like, do you really grieve?
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to where a person should be beginning to grieve, you lose somebody else.
Mm-hmm. You know, and life is still showing up for you.
Yeah, man. And then on top of that, you got life. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, man. I done been to so many funerals, man. I'm talking countless. I done lost count. Just since in quarantine, at least 10, just since we've been in quarantine.
I mean, motherfuckers be out here getting killed so much, the T-shirt man is making money just off rest in peace T-shirts. Rich.
Man, I always say it's a lot of money in death.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's a fact.
Hey, so I want to ask you a question. Say like you could go back in a time machine and be on any album. What album do you wish that you was on?
As far as like mainstream artists?
Mainstream.
That's a good question. I like that.
Thanks, Mac.
Call me out, bro. With that.
Thanks, Mac.
I like that. Ooh, man. I say All Eyes on Me.
Me too. I don't wish that I was on All Eyes on Me just because the music is great, but it just seemed like they was having hella fun.
Nah, for real. Look, listen. That album, to me, it seemed like it was the most fun in any album ever being made. And the fact that I know that it was made in like 2 weeks, it's like, damn, Pac came home like on tripping, like getting everybody in that motherfucker. Imagine how many people he had coming to that studio in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This nigga had songs like Ain't Hard to Find. That's like a Barry, a Posse Cut classic. This nigga had Rich on it. He had Double on it, 40, D-Shot, C-Bo was on that motherfucker. And then he just had like random.
Do you know that album?
Shots with Rapping Forte on it.
Do you know that album Inside Out?
What? Every song.
So
both.
Okay,
albums,
so I got to give you the trivia question on that album. Name the rappers that were from Oakland, California on that album. Not nowhere else, Oakland, California.
Okay. Well, let me start off easy. You got Double, for those who don't know. And that's my uncle. That's my uncle. I grew up with him. That's Richie Rich.
Okay.
Who else was on that motherfucker? Had Forte was from the city. Yeah, D-Shot, 40. Spice One was on that motherfucker. Mac Moore was on there. It wasn't a lot of Oakland rappers on there. Actually, when you think about it, hold on, let me see. It might have just been. Hold on, I'm not gonna say that though. Let me think for a second. Shit. Spice One was on there.
Spice One ain't from Oakland, but
he
wasn't
from Hayward.
But he wasn't on that album.
Wait, he wasn't on Dustin and Disgusted?
Dustin and Disgusted is on E40 album.
Oh, you right. I'm loaded. All right.
Want me to tell you who the other person was?
Who?
Drew Down.
Oh, fuck. Drew Down is on there. Wait. He just talking on it.
He got a plaque for that.
I heard he sure the fuck did. You right.
Yeah, don't talk that just.
No, I'm just saying because I'm thinking about niggas rapping. But I ain't taking nothing away from Drew because you right. Niggas need to know that. He got a plaque for that.
Yeah.
For them couple sentences in the beginning of that song.
I mean,
he gonna get his plaque for that. Cause you got niggas that say, look, the nigga that say, you should say such and such such, he get a plaque. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he get credit and all of that. So shout out to Drew Down. I ain't taking nothing away from Drew Down is a legend. I love Drew Down.
Yeah, Drew Down or Sugar Free.
Man, I gotta fuck, man. It's like naturally you want to go with the soil, you feel me? But Sugar Free, one of them honorary niggas that Bay niggas love.
You know why? Because he's selling dope too.
You feel me? He's selling dope, he's selling pussy. You know, like I said, I grew up around a lot of P's, man. You know, like I'm talking about intermediate family, big time. You know what I mean? So that was definitely like music that I was always around. You know what I mean? Sugar Free, everybody, like my pops listen to Sugar Free and All Eyes on Me. That's
what do you tell a female that want to be a hoe?
Come fuck with me.
I like shit like
Hey, you know what? That was funny. I used to brag, like I used to say, like my claim to fame back when I was getting down was like 80% of my bros was all first timers. You know what I'm saying? They really fucked with me that tough to get down like that. You know what I mean? They wasn't just some little scraggly bitch that done had 15 different niggas that tried and, you know, she done fagged off and then came to me. Like, nah, nigga, I had a bunch of bros that was like, oh, I'll never do that. And next thing you know,
so
like,
is this something that you actually had to coerce a motherfucker?
Never, ever. And you know what I tell people? It ain't no perfect thing to say to somebody. Every situation is different. And I always tell people a lot of times it really be based on circumstances. You know what I mean? The same individual that'll say they'll never do it might go through some shit where where the shit that they said they never would do seem a little more feasible now. You know what I mean? And then they be ready to do it based on the person they dealing with. Me, I'm the person they dealing with.
You stupid. So what is a renegade?
Renegade is...
Can I ask you a question? Is a renegade a prostitute without a pimp or just somebody that's just doing their own thing?
That's the same thing. That's one and the same. It's basically a female getting down without representation. They call them renegades. You know, it's frowned upon, you know, and I don't say it from a like, be a renegade type perspective. Mine more so like, it's like you want to do it by yourself, it's a bigger gamble. Most females that do it by themselves, they end up blowing their money. You know, they don't, you know, there's no guidance behind what they doing. They do it whenever they feel like it. They might wait till they got down to their last $100 to, I'm going to go to work. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you want to live that lifestyle, that's fine. But any real P will tell you, motherfuckers ain't in this shit to just be doing it. You know what I mean? You want to get somewhere. So if you want to get somewhere, you got to be strict about it. You got to be, you know, you got to have some type of regimen. Just like if you was at a fucking job. This shit is real. It's a real job. So you got to treat it like such. You know?
If you was with this chick for 15 years and, you know, she been down for you, would you marry her? Would you marry your prostitute?
I mean, actually, that's pretty common in the culture. I mean, they call them your bottom bra. You know, after 15 years, I mean, she didn't put a lot in. You look at her way different than any female that you done dealt with in this world. So it's definitely feasible. You know what I mean? At that point, if you getting out the game, you know what I mean? Because if she could last 15 years in that game, she's solid.
So the fact that you was in the industry for a second, do you look at square chicks different or just all chicks different? Or
not at all, because I don't even like to be defined by that shit. That shit was so natural, it had just happened. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even something that I strived to be. You know, it just was so natural. I wouldn't call it a phase. It just happened. And if I didn't like want to live a certain type of way now, it could still happen. You know what I mean? It's just in me like that. You know, not to sound hella cocky or nothing, but it wasn't nothing that really was something that I, you know, always dreamed to be. You know.
Did you slip in the game, or did you get schooled by like an old chick? Did you get broke in the game by an old chick, like she said that she wanted to choose you?
It was actually like I say. So I always been a Mac. You know what I mean? At 14, I was at that time for my age, I was clocking a lot of money from a little Asian broad. It was crazy because ironically, she ended up being the first. She ended up being my, the first one to pay me years later. But it was just in me to see what I could get up out of somebody who was willing to give it. You know, so at 14, I started like, I had like a whole little graph. Like I was tallying up all the money I was getting from this little Filipino bro. You know, at the time it was game changer for me because after that I just never looked back. It was always natural. Like every female I dealt with just ended up handing it over. You know?
And have you ever fell in love with one of your prostitutes?
Nah, I wouldn't say I fell in love with one of my prostitutes, but I will say I didn't have a female that was my like on some square shit, and then turned into that. You know what I'm saying? Like she knew that I got down when I met her. You know what I mean? But I never pushed that line on her because I knew that wasn't even how I met her. That wasn't what I was even looking for from her. You know what I mean? But motherfuckers had told her, and once she got around me and seen how everything was operating, I think she got enticed by it, you know, and literally propositioned me, you know, like she wanted to fuck with it. And at that point, I had already had love for her, you know, but it was never getting in the way of, you know what I mean?
Oh, that motherfucking money.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I always be very, because it's funny, because this was before niggas had the whole term boyfriend pimping, which is what a lot of these niggas do now. It's like, it's sad, but it's like, I'll be the first to admit, this girl was more like my girlfriend before we ever even got some money, which I think, in my opinion, is more honorable on my end, because a lot of these niggas, they just talk that shit, but any nigga that got a girlfriend right now, would they really let them go get down? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think so. A lot of these niggas, they can't, their brain ain't wired to allow that and be able to sleep at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I got to ask you a question. Have you ever had to explain some pimping to like a father or something like that who was mad about their daughter being out there or some shit like that?
Nah, never. I ain't never really had no messy situations like that with any individual I dealt with. I'm normally that guy when they all look back, you know, as far as their whole little career. I was like their high point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was at my best when I was fucking with you. Because honestly, I'm a good dude. I'm a solid dude, but I don't be on no shady shit, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of the females that I ended up not dealing with, they kind of played theyself. I was never the problem, you know? It was always them. I ain't saying it like I'm perfect, but most of the times they kind of played theyself, whether they was out of pocket or whatever the case may be. So when they look back, it's like, it's almost like when you had a good nigga, but you didn't realize it till you left that nigga and got with a shitty ass nigga, and you like, damn, he was actually a good nigga. Yeah, you know, I'm that nigga. Yeah. So that, you know, I didn't got calls like even her, that Asian girl. And to this day, we still cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, and she out, you know, she squared up now, and she always tell me like I was at my best when I was fucking with you. Yeah. Because you was genuine, and you know, whether it was good or bad, you was always upfront and very real, and no ulterior motives and none of that shit. You know, and I believe in that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of niggas make this shit look bad. Yeah. And I'm talking like I'm in this shit. Let's be clear. I don't even get down, but I just know this shit, and I just sit back and I watch. Like a lot of niggas make this shit look bad, just the way they be moving. You know what I mean? And they call themselves peas, and I just be laughing because like. Some niggas don't even understand. It's real levels to this shit. Like, these niggas is like lower tier, you know. A lot of these bitches is knocking these niggas. These niggas ain't knocking these bras.
What you mean by that?
Well, I'm saying like a lot of these niggas, bras stumble upon them like, oh, he cute, I want to pay him. You know what I'm saying? She knocked you. You ain't putting no footwork in to get the bitch. She just up in your face, you know what I'm saying? And you probably didn't even know, you probably never even had a hoe before. It's like, oh, damn, what I do? What do I do? What I do? And I done seen it, you know what I mean? And it be the same niggas, these bras be dragging their name, you know what I mean, when it's all said and done.
Is it a lot of female pimps?
They out there. They exist. Please believe. That is a real thing. And I ain't talking about no madam shit. It's bras out there, real peas. Getting to it. Believe that.
For sure.
Before that shit crossed over.
Before we get out of here, tell people where they can find you at.
Man, you can find me on all social media sites. Petey Mac. My Instagram is Petey Mac. That's Petey. So anybody that want to make sure they get it right, Petey MAC 17708. And all the numbers basically is mob. That's MOB and beeper code 17708. So it's Petey Mac 17708 on Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much, that's where you can find me. I mean, I got a Twitter, but I don't really be on that shit like that. But you can find all my music on all streaming platforms. Be sure to download my station on Pandora, Petey Mac Radio. Yeah, man. And be on the lookout. I got Mac Music 4, The Golden Child, coming out in about 2 months. Me and Foots the Beast got an album coming out next month. Me and my boy Molly Be Coolin', we got an album coming out this month, March 24th. So be on the lookout for all that. And then later on this year, I got an album I'm doing with a producer from Sweden. I think I'm gonna call it Mob International. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. I'm doing a lot of shit right now.
For sure. When you drop that next project or something like that, you gonna come back for a short interview talking about it?
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I most definitely will. And remember, I got a Dark Day Sunday Nights out right now. Dropped January 4th. I got a couple videos out for that, sent to L-Deez. And I'm sitting on 2 right now that I got to release. And then I'm shooting one more for that, which is Addy, featuring Marley Shore. That's like the hottest song on the album. Make sure you check that out. That motherfucker hot. It's called Addy, featuring Marley Shore. She on the hook singing, man. She killed it.
For sure. Well, thanks for coming out, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate you, brother.
And when you come back, man, wear a different beanie so they gonna know it's a different video.
You already know. For
For
sure.
sure.
I'm come with a black one on.
Well, I am L-Deez for another episode of I Need to Know. And as usual, come on, you know what I want.